All right, guys. Possibilities, right? And that's where we at now. This is the wonderful off season. Although we got here sooner than we expected, those who just been kind of like with the channel and stuff like that. But now it's the time for us to start looking at draft picks, start looking and evaluating players, seeing what we can do to get in the off season. There have been questions about the Calais Campbell guy. I've been questioning about what to do with Tony Romo. So there's so many things out there. So thank you guys for joining in. But this is the time right now for us to build our team, to get in the right directions, to just shake off all of the haters. We know that they're there. They got to do their job, so we got to do ours, and that's putting the content out there, just being positive, putting our minds in the right places so that we can be able to just be, relaxed for the next season. So those are things that we really need to have our thoughts, our minds, our hearts, our soul, our own integrity about. We got to be able to understand that this football game is a game. At the end of the day, it all goes down into the box. And how we felt this weekend is how 31 other teams should feel, at the end of the year, because there's only going to be one Super Bowl won. So those who out there, all in someone's face, they got to keep in mind, if their team don't win at all, they're going to feel and go through the experiences that we have. Unless you just, a bandwagon guy and don't really pick for a team. And that can happen too as well. So those are things that can help you out, believe it or not, if you don't really, support a team. Like I say, there's so many things out there. But this talk track here is what we're gonna do. Is we're gonna go over the draft and who we should select. I got give me a few seconds while I load up everything. This thing here. It is what it is, man. I can't even see anything right now. Technical difficulties, right? Technical difficulties are amongst us. But in the meantime, we getting things going. My bad. I try to do everything live and everything of that nature so that we're able to interact with each other, and you guys can get the unscripted or unfiltered stuff, because you got so many people out there who does this and that way and does it this way, and I'm doing it this way. I'm doing it my way, right? Oh Lord Jesus, this thing. Let's see. Let's go back to here. I don't know why it does this. It doesn't allow me to see a soul. But the Cowboy Nation, man, we're gonna get back to where we need to go, and it's gonna happen more sooner than later. I know. I remember how to do this now. Let me go here. Log out of there. The pain, the crazy stuff here. All right, almost there, guys. But we just got to stay focused, man. There you go. Okay, now I can see somebody question. Chris Miller said, "What spot do we needed to be addressed the most?" With popularity. Well, let me see if I can hold on before I start going. Only got about 2 people in here, right? It's all good. I'm working from home today, so we got nothing but time on my little break. All right. If they can fix this on YouTube, that'll be plus. But all right, so I think basically what we need to I like this dude, you're dumb. I like that. I like that screen name. That's a cool ass screen name, fam. Let's see if I'm getting it right, man. I'm gonna ask you a question, man. I'm gonna get there. How's my audio? You guys can hear me pretty good, you know? Thumbs up if you can hear me pretty good, or let me know so I won't be. Can you hear me? Can you hear me good? Testing 1, 2, 3. Are you guys able to hear me? Well, William did great this season. Okay, good. Appreciate it, Rich. All right, so let me go back to Chris Miller. Question. He was saying that what spots we needed to be addressed at most. I think, believe it or not, we need to address. These are things we really need to address this offseason. We need to, we believe it or not, we need to address the actual quarterback, the backup quarterback situation. I don't know how Jerry is going to play this out. That's going to be a unique thing. Do you keep the veteran? Because we all know in the past that has been our Achilles heel is that when our starting quarterback goes down, who do we put out there? The Brad Johnsons of the world, or whoever, you know, I can't even think of their name. But who do we put out there? John Kitna, stuff like that, man. Who do we put out there? Because at this point in time, man, we can bundle up a picks together and try to trade Romo and all this stuff, or you can have that infamous. I can't even talk this morning. You can have that debate of who should be your starting quarterback all again, and bringing that through the training camps, and like everybody. Of course, Tony Romo probably more than likely will beat out Dak Prescott. But do you want to really open up that can of worms? You know, so that there was so many elements. Give me a few seconds. Let me get my mind right. There are so many things that you can do with that, and when you're trying to address those type of issues, those type of needs, it's just hard to us to figure out what we need to do in that same breath. So I would say number one need this offseason, believe it or not, is to secure your backup quarterback. Figure it out, because that's the blood of your offense, and that's the blood of your team, is your quarterback play. Secondly, I really think that we need to focus somewhere on defense. We need to figure out a playmaker. Now, I'm working on tape now. I'm going to post it sometime this week, hopefully by Friday, before Friday, or it could be Saturday, of Jalen Tabor from Florida. He's probably one of the best cornerbacks in the league, well, in the college draft or what have you, one of the top cornerbacks. But I'm so reluctant. I have so much reservation when it comes to drafting a cornerback. I can't speak today. A defensive back. I'm so 50-50. Cornerbacks are just like, or defensive backs are just like running backs. You can get a good one in the 5th or 6th round. And it's just one of those things, you know, we seen how Brown played for us this year. I mean, he was good in times, and he does play a little aggressive, but those are things that he's going to eventually learn, the do's and don'ts, and he's just going to be a better player next year, hopefully. But then again, you may get another Byron Jones. Excuse my talk today. But you may get another person like that when you draft with the 28th pick, and it's not a lower pick. So those are things that you can come up with trying to get that defensive player. We really desperately needs a third and foremost, we need a dynamic offensive player somehow, some way. We need to figure this thing out. We need an explosive wide receiver that can play opposite of Dez Bryant. We need an explosive, maybe an explosive tight end, you know, like the O.J. Howards of the world, or some guy from Michigan named Butts, you know. But I don't know. He's more like a Jason Witten 2.0. There's so many things that we would need, and I hate to draft a tight end because revisionist history shows that the tight ends that we draft doesn't pan out. And now we got, what's that, Bennett kid? He's way in New England's and Patriots, and he's playing in their AFC conference championship game. And Lord knows if he goes to the Super Bowl, it's going to be one of those things like, well, could we work something out to keep him, but it's just so many things that we really need to focus on. But yeah, Chris, we need to figure something out like that. Those are 3 critical areas of need that we need to take a look at. All right, let me just take a look at the chat box, man. I really appreciate you guys for jumping in today. Let me see, especially I appreciate you too, man. You're Dom, I know that's your screen name, but I don't want you to think that I'm calling you Dom. But I appreciate you too as well. I think Terrence Williams need to be cut. Nah, they see Alex. Is it Marnez? They're not going to cut Terrence Williams. Terrence Williams is a comfortable. I mean, he's a complimentary. This is what I'm working for. Complimentary wide receiver. I mean, at times he can win the game for you. At times he just catches with his body too much. If we just need to figure out something. I wouldn't cut him. I would try to package up something to trade him, but I wouldn't try to necessarily cut him. And this guy, you probably get peanuts if you try to trade him. So, and he probably won't demand that much for his money. He's a native Texas person, so we'll figure that we'll cross that bridge when it comes. But they just need to figure out something to have that explosive, dynamic player that's on the outside of Dez Bryant. Kind of like, and I'm not trying to just peep into the windows of the Atlanta Falcons, but they had Julio Jones and they got this Sanu kid. We need something like that. Just for a point of references. In my opinion, defensive end Darius Marshall. Excuse me. Excuse me, I've been battling a cold. But, a defensive end would work. But, the sexy pick would be Myles Garrett, And we just don't have that range of getting that type of defensive end because history shows that defensive end around that pick can be a bust too as well, unless you pick him with the top 10 or unless you fall into the blessings of a round was Vic Beasley picked it, was it the second round? I think he's a beast. And another guy that dropped down, plays for the Denver Broncos. I think that he's a beast, but they had to gamble with him because of his off the field issues. And then of course we all know the story of our guy, Randy Gregory, what happened with him and all that stuff. So in those scenarios, it's just hard to just pick out a defensive end at the bottom first round or what have you, or in the second round, where we at, in my opinion. Let's see what else we got. I'm just trying to catch up with everybody in this news feed. All right, loud and clear. Thank you guys. Let's see. Late first round pick. I think we pick him with the 28 pick. Ross from Washington. James. Is it Davion? Davion James. I looked at Ross. Guy's explosive. Is quick. I just need to. I guess this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Jalen first, and then I'm going to jump back to Ross, and I'm going to do a few clips of him. Just try to give my small analysis of what he can bring to the team, his ability to catch the ball actually with his hands, not against his chest, and to be able to run crisp routes. I think Ross will be an excellent pick for us. I hope that he can fall to that round and where we can just say, hey, we picked this guy up, but this whole draft will flip out if we pick a wide receiver in the first round, just in my opinion. I don't think he's graded out as a first round pick. I don't know for sure. I have to take a look at it and do some more evaluation on this kid. But I think that guy Mike Williams from Clemson is a bad man. I think he's able to pluck the ball out of the sky. I don't know how his routes are, but I think that he's a more opposite of Dez, although he could be Dez Jr. All right, let's see what we got. Calais Campbell, defensive end for sure. Thank you. Shout out to you, Huggy. Loke, I think we signed Tremaine Johnson if he becomes a free agent. Oh, man. You know what? You raised a good point because, Loke, this is what we need, and we need known commodities. Of course, we struck out with Carr. Carr was a known commodity that was playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, but we paid the man $50 million, and he got what, 2 interceptions or 3 interceptions within the 5 years. I think maybe 2. So it's one of those scenarios. I mean, the best thing that we can do, and I tell everybody, I tell everybody the best thing we need to do, if we can look at this year's 1991 Dallas Cowboys. We went 11-5 in 1991. We got kicked out of the playoff by the Detroit Lions, and everybody was saying like, the Cowboys can't never win the big one. And we were hit with the same mantra that we hit with today. So, but what happened with that? They gave everybody a sense of urgency. They gave everybody a sense of pride. They gave everybody saying that, hey, we can win this damn game. We can win in this league. And the next year, 1992, they began to go on the run. They were still relatively a younger team, and they was able to win 1992, 1993, and then of course, Jimmy retired in 1994, and then 1995 we was able to win with the Switzerland's Barry. But what we can do is we can look at that revisionist history and see what we changed from 1991 to 1992. We focus more on our defense, although defense was still snubbed in 1992, which I can foresee. If I can foresee that same, everybody for looking over our defenses and stuff like that. If we manage to get Tapper back, if we manage to get a Jalen Smith back out there and match him up with Sean Lee, and if we can get like 2 or 3 missing elements that's back on our defense, because we need somebody who can just really, Shane Ray, thank you for that, James. Somebody who can really, like the Shane Rays of the world, somebody who can just step up, man. Like a rookie, if we can just find that rookie, or if we can find that complimentary, defensive known commodity. Can you imagine if, not Adrian Peterson, but what's that? Patrick Peterson. Can you imagine Patrick Peterson on our team? Or the Honey Badger, or somebody like that 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 when the ball is passed on that side of the field, that is going to be locked down or shut down, or somebody who's going to stick their nose into the ball. I mean, just like Heath played that Green Bay passing game, Green Bay Packer game, just like Jeff Heath was playing. That's how all of our defensive backs need to play. They need to pluck the ball out of the sky. They need to come off the blitz and hit the quarterback. They need to be able to play with that tenacity, that aggressive. We need to find like 2 or 3 players like that. Now, where is Sean Lee? Sean Lee got a lot of passion, got a lot of heart, soul, and I wish that all the Cowboys collectively come together in this Pro Bowl and show the NFL that we are first class and we should have never be looked down upon. But at the same time, in the meantime, and in the between time, what we really need to do is just focus on getting those key components, those complementary defensive players that can just push. Because we're missing, like I say, one explosive player on our actual offense. And I'm tired of the Bryce Butlers of the world. I'm tired of the Lucky Whiteheads of the world. And I'm tired of these like misfits, these guys that is supposedly be these people that can supposedly run fast, but they can't never get separation. That's the funniest thing ever. Oh man, Lucky Whitehead is fast. I haven't seen him blow out nobody this year but like 1 or 2 people, I'm not trying to cast aspersions or scoriate or denigrate Lucky Whitehead. But what I'm saying is Lucky Whitehead will not just do it for you. Bryce Butlers of the world do it for you. Now I seen T. Will. We done seen T. Will catch a few passes and made some game changes, but we also seen T. Will make dumb, bonehead mistakes about not getting out of bounds. But needless to say, he did his part this last game, but that 1 or 2 plays where he dropped the ball, we don't need that. We just don't need that. Darius Marshall, you said like Deshaun Jackson. If we can find like that type of fuel igniter, that'll be a plus. And that's all I have to say from here, man, as far as that. Eric Berry, is that Poe, that big guy, is it the Marius Poe? Shout out to Scalper X, for that. Let me see. Yeah, free agent will be the key. I swear to you guys, man, it's just one other thing. Look, I swear, Carr, talking about retirement. I mean, that'd probably be his best avenue of him to go ahead and retire. He's a hell of a player, but if he's gonna give up on his career like that, and by being mediocre role, his whole entire career with the Cowboys, then there's the door, my friend. Leave room for someone else. But he is reliable in a sense, but reliable as in being mediocre role. Bob the Biller, Aaron Rodgers is your daddy. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers played a hell of a game. He did a great impressions of being a 9-10-year veteran, 11-year veteran, and even at that point, I love people when they come on with the contrast of their evaluations of a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, even when he was a rookie, he couldn't do the things that Dak Prescott is doing. Now, granted, shout out to the Packer Nation. You guys won fair and square with the help of a little officiating, because I'm not just going to sit back and say that the dog beat the Cowboys. I mean, if anybody just look at that game collectively, we came out flat. We came out unpoised. There was a lot of errors with the actual with Doug Free, and my God, I'm praying to God that we can just get rid of Doug Free. Let us see let's open up a new book. Let's start reading from the beginning of a chapter of someone else. Let somebody else be the Doug Frees of the world. Because I'm tired of seeing Doug Free messing up, being a liability. I put a video out before and I said Doug Free liability, and I put a couple question marks behind it. And people was coming out of the woodshed talking about, he's good at this, he's good at that. But they fail to realize that a liability is a liability at the end of the day. It will hurt you in the long run. It's kind of like putting all your assets or putting all your money, your cash, hard-earned money, into a car, which is going to depreciate, instead of buying something that's going to be sustainable, like a house or I'm not going to get into economics with you guys, but let's see what else we got on there. At Dallas Cowboys Blue on the Twitter, my brother from another mother. We need a pass rusher and a cornerback. No doubt. I mean, like what we can do to get a pass rush. What can we do? Like I say, there are some free agencies out there that we need to take a look at. There are some things that we need to open up our hearts and minds and just take that risk. I know we've been saving money. I know we've been saving a lot of cap room for this type of day. But like I said, in 1992 and 1993, what changed from 1991? They focused more and they horned in on their defense. I mean, they was dominant enough in 1991 with their offensive play, with the triplets, with Michael Irvin, my brother Troy Aikman, the best quarterback the Cowboys ever laid eyes on, right? And Emmitt Smith. And then Moose was coming through there, busting up the seams. But it was just that we was missing some key elements, and that was on our defense. And we was able to get that. Yeah, you're dumb. You're right. We had our chance. Blaming the ref is a cop-out. I mean, anybody with 4 eyes or 2 eyes or with any eyes can see that we had our chances to win the game. But momentum. If you look back at the officiating or the refs and stuff like that, they played more than percentages of what it cost for us to lose the game than to make the game even. If I can make sense to you guys. That play, that unsportsmanlike conduct play, I'm just gonna break this down. It's gonna be my last time saying this. That play was such a crucial play, because if it was unsportsmanlike conduct, then that flag should have been thrown before the play ever existed. But what they did was they allowed that play to continue. I think T. Will caught the pass. It was 16 to 17 yards. And then they flew around and threw the flag. If that was an unsportsmanlike conduct, then that flag would have been thrown before the whistle play. And then on top of that, I'm not saying the officiating is the reason why we lost, because you get bad calls on both sides of the table. But that part of the game throws off your psyche when you're trying to actually, when you lose momentum, when you've been gone for like what? Let me see. These guys been not playing God knows when. 3 weeks, meaningless football, a meaningful game. And then all of a sudden you get this particular play at that time. You went from possibly scoring 7 points to 3. And you can't trade field goals for touchdowns in that scenario. It's just not possible. And then in the last play of the game, the number 95, our guy Irvin, David Irvin, was rushing the quarterback normally like he's supposed to do, and they got him in a chokehold, and he's not able to get to the quarterback. Could they call holding? Could they not? Come on, guys. Let's just think about this, man. But let me just see what else we got here, man, in the chat log. I went too far off of my path on that. I need a pass rush. Deed Westbrook. I'm gonna write that down. That's D.D. Westbrook. Is that somebody? Do you know what team he's on? Let me find my little pen. Hold on, let me. There you go. Right. Old school. I'm gonna do it old school. I'm gonna write these players down that you want me to take a look at. Is it D.D. Westbrook? All right. Yeah, Tapper, Machiavelli. Shout out to you, man. I ain't no killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. Yeah. If your offense can score 30-plus points in a game, there's no reason you should lose. The defense needed to help. Scapper X, shout out to that. Yeah, you're right, man. If your offense can put up 30, there's no reason for you to lose. And Germany. Shout out to Germany, man. It was that Trout. You're right on all accounts. I just feel our bad calls are going to happen. You got to move on and focus on and get your job. What you can focus on things that you can control. Shout out to your Dom for that as well. Yeah, you got to stay focused on the task at hand. There's so many things out there that can derail a team. They can stop a team momentum. And if you're just not focused enough, then those things are going to happen. Let me see what else I can do here. I thank all y'all for joining in. Let me see. Give me a few seconds. He's from Oklahoma. Thank you, man, Rich. D.D. Westbrook from Oklahoma. I'm assuming he played for the Sooners, right? Sidney Jones is, shout out to you, James. Sidney Jones is a cornerback from Washington. He's 6 foot. Sidney Jones, man. Is he better than Jalen Tobar from Florida? Because scouts reported that Jalen is top CB or defensive back out there. Are these DBs, Charles Harris and all that? I'm writing these down, man, so hopefully we get excuse me, writing all this stuff down, man, so we can get the ball rolling in the right direction. Because my draft evaluation, the only thing I can do is just look up a few players and try to, I don't watch too much college football, but the college football that I do watch are when they make it to the bowl games or the bowl. It's not the bowl games, the bowl game or the playoff, what have you. Charles Harris, defensive end. What team he played for, fam? You know? Yeah, you know what team I can take a look at him, man, and take a look at get a good review. What is your favorite NBA team? At this point, excuse me. At this point, as far as the NBA team, I kind of Missouri. My NBA team is I like the Dallas Mavericks, man, but I fall in love with the players more so on the NBA because they trade so much of the players. Back in the early days, just a diehard, Lakers guy with the Magics and Kareem and all that stuff. But I never, when I was growing up, everybody was a Chicago Bulls fan. So, but when you're in Dallas, you root for the team or the city you stay in. But now I'm no longer in Dallas. I actually, because of jobs and stuff like that, I had to move out. But Solomon, that's my team right there. Lakers. More so, I was a Kobe fan and Shaq and all those guys. But my Lakers fell off the map, and now I'm just still rooting for the team. Occasionally watch the team and stuff like that. But I still follow the Dallas Mavericks. All right, Charles is a defensive end from Missouri. Solomon Thomas is a beast. God, I'm gonna look up all these people. They better be a beast, man. I don't have to be looking up no garbage player now. I know Solomon Thomas got to be a beast. That's my name right there, Thomas, boy. He better be a beast. Yeah. The only reason why I love to evaluate defensive backs because I played on defensive end when I was in high school and stuff like that. So, but outside of that, guys, we just need to stay focused. This year, like I say, 2017, I'm going to try to put the Senior Bowl live on this channel. Well, not live, but I'm going to try to replay that Senior Bowl game on this channel. If not, it's going to be on Facebook so we can evaluate. The Senior Bowl is January the 18th, I believe, this year. So let's be focused. No, is it January the 8th? No, Senior Bowl is, when the damn Senior Bowl? Today is January 18th. Senior Bowl, I think, is either next weekend or weekend before next, or whenever the Senior Bowl comes out, I'm going to put it on this channel. If not, it's going to be on Facebook. Who is Jari Alexander? What position he played for Louisville? Look at that. You guys helping the brother out. No, Trot. I do not live in Dallas anymore. I'm in school on break. Shout out to Sports Gamer 101. Get that education, man. You got to get that education. So you can have a good job, work from home like I'm doing. Let me see. Jair Alexander. Do you see every Dallas Cowboys game? Of course, I got a chance to see every Dallas Cowboy game. I haven't missed a Cowboy game. Technically, I kid you guys not, I haven't missed a Dallas Cowboys game since 1987. I think I saw every game. Not as lucky. 1980. I haven't missed a game since the 80s, basically. I either went back and rewatched the game or got a chance to see every game. But I know I saw every single solitary game that's in the 90s all the way up to this point without a shadow of a doubt. So I'm not saying that but I just got a chance to be blessed to watch every game. Win, lose, or draw. I went through the stages of us losing to Jimmy Johnson's to even rooting against Jimmy Johnson when he coached against Miami, when he coached for the Miami or what have you, and praying to God that we get back Jimmy Johnson. So those I went through all of that stages. I went through the stages of me defending Emmitt Smith, praying that Emmitt Smith can get the record. Watching the same fan base without social media saying that Troy Hambrick was better than Emmitt Smith, and I was like, God, what are y'all talking about? And for him ultimately to go to the Arizona Cardinals, which I think he still got close to 1,000 yards playing for the Arizona Cardinals, and then for him to ultimately to retire. And I witnessed Emmitt Smith running, breaking the record. Not live. Witnessed Emmitt Smith breaking the all-time record, Walter Payton record. But I was watching that game. And another thing, what I really witnessed is my worst game ever. I kid you guys not. My worst game was It was the final. I was at the Texas Stadium. The final game of the in Irving, when we played in Irving, that last game when those McLean guys ran back to back, 60 or 70 yards to win it. That was my worst game ever because Ravens were, still the Ravens at that time, but it was just weird how they was able to bust through the middle. Neither here nor there. Let me see what else we got in the chat box. I got Game Pass. If you can pull off, let me see. We'll go back and see what else. Jalen Smith will be back next year. Sports Gamer. Yeah, I hope so. I hope he come back with a vengeance, man. I want him to come back not slow, not lethargic. I want him to come back ready, hungry. I want him to come back aggressive. I want him to come back just with a focused mind. I'm going to try to do, because I didn't do it last year, I'm just going to do it this year, a Jalen Smith video, a breakdown of him, what he can bring to the team, I got some good film on him, so hopefully I'll share that with you guys, and you guys will be able to look at what he actually brings to the team. But last year, I just didn't want to put that tape out there knowing that he won't be able to play. So this year, I'm going to put that Jalen Smith film out there. All right, so Chief Cowboys can't get past the divisional round since 1990s. Yeah, the Chiefs, man, they look good, man. It's just that I didn't get a chance to see the Steelers game. I guess I can go back and watch the game. But I was kind of rooting for them because I just can't stand the fact that Steelers have the possibility. Not saying that I'm a hater. I'm not no Stephen A. Smith guy who would say the Pittsburgh Steelers have the worst fan base because they can be obnoxious and all that stuff. But I just don't want them to advance so much ahead, because they got 6 Super Bowl rings now, and it could be very much. So it's like would you rather for the Pittsburgh Steelers to get 7 Super Bowl rings, or would you rather for the Patriots, Tom Brady, to get 5 Super Bowl rings? And I was talking to somebody, and they would say, they argued me down, and they won that debate because they said if Tom Brady get 5 Super Bowl rings, he done matched the amount of Super Bowl rings your whole franchise got. So that America's he will be the Captain America, and their team will be the new America's team, blah 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 blah. And you can't argue the point because the guy, whether or not they cheating, whether they cheating or they trying to cheat or they trying to get any type of advantage, they know how to win. At the end of the day, they know how to win with their players. So when he came up to me with that stuff, I said, you know what, you're right. I had no other rebuttal that I can put out there. I can say, yeah, he cheated and stuff like that. But, at the end of the day, when history goes on, 10 to 20 years from now, they're going to look back and say, man, this guy was a winner. All right, let's see what else we got. Jada Cook. Oh, man, if they can pull it off, Law, get the cornerback from Houston. I think A.J. Bouye, safety, and believe it or not, I would try to move up and get a safety either from the likes of Jabril Peppers or what have you. I don't know, man. I looked at film and tape on Jabril. I don't know if he can cover great. I don't want him to be like. I don't know, man. It's just with those safety. I'm in great deed of fear of drafting safeties and drafting cornerbacks or defensive backs, because it's always the ones that we draft, they never live up to the hype. They never be the next second coming of Darren Woodson, and Lord forbid, we can't find a Sean Taylor or Troy Polamalu, or we can't get an Eric Reed, stuff like that. It just doesn't happen to us, man. Now, if it happened, I was hoping and praying that Darren Woodson prototype would be a Byron Jones, but it just didn't happen. Not saying I'm negative about it. I'm just in disarray about it. That's a thing that I can try to put out there. Let's see what else we got out here, man. ACO. I think we should try to go get Calais Campbell. Yeah, we should try. Alexander from Peter is a cornerback. But by the way, sorry, I forgot to specify his position. Nah, you good, fam. I'm gonna try to look him up, Jaree, and see what type of skill set he have. Brady got 5 rings. Yeah, that's the conundrum. Gyro. I'm horrible in pronunciation today. But if Brady get 5, let's look at it from this perspective since we out of the damn mix. And I hate that so bad. It's just me thinking about it. If we break it down, the only team that we would like for to win the Super Bowl, if you are collectively a Cowboy fan, believe it or not, would be the Atlanta Falcons. Everybody who love the Cowboys at this point, we must pray and hope to God that Atlanta Falcons win the Super Bowl. And here's why. Atlanta Falcons, to my knowledge, I don't think that they have a Super Bowl, for one. And for two, you don't want the team that you could have beat but you didn't beat because of coaching or because of lack of play calling, because of lack of enthusiasm or whatever it may be, or whatever the excuse we might want to lament with. You just don't want that team to go and beat the next team and go to the Super Bowl, because then it's going to be, man, if only we did this, if only we did that, we could have beat the Atlanta Falcons too, and we could have been in the Super Bowl. You just don't want Green Bay to win the Super Bowl. At this point, I'm not saying that I'm hating. I'm not saying that I don't want Green Bay to be successful. But at this point, we got to be, as a Cowboy Nation, collectively, we got to be selfish in a way, because that's the only thing that we can think about at this point in time. If they go ahead and win the Super Bowl, it'll be at the decision of us. Look how small it is. It'll be technically at the decision of us not running on first down. You know, when we could have, what was this? Excuse me. What was it? Second and 1, and we passed the ball twice. Or it was 2nd and 2. We just needed 2 yards, and we had a running back that was averaging 6.2 yards or 6.1 yards a carry, and we didn't give him the ball. We passed, and then we end up ultimately kicking the ball, which in return was ultimately a crucial mistake. Crucial mistake for us to do. So excuse me, man. I feel like I'm about to die over here, man. This doggone cold. Thank all y'all for still joining in, still being with me over here. Let me see what else we got. Eric Berry, free agency. So at the end of the day, what I was trying to lament would be the fact that as a Cowboy Nation, or as Cowboys fans, or those who follow the channel, the only team that we would like for us to win would be the Atlanta Falcons. Because if the Steelers win the Super Bowl, they'll have 7. If Brady wins the Super Bowl, they will have 5 rings, and you'll never shut them up. And then he'll just be a football god from there. He'll be placed into the highest of the highest with 5 Super Bowl rings. He'll be MJ like, regardless of the cheating scandals and this sort of thing. And you don't want the team that you could have won, or maybe should have beat, but didn't beat, end up beating Atlanta and going to the Super Bowl and ultimately winning the Super Bowl. And then you would never hear the end of it from Green Bay Packers fans. So with popular belief, you should just want Atlanta Falcons to win. Like I feel. Yeah, I think what you think about Frazier was drafted last year. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Loke. That's my only thing is, not saying that Frazier is a garbage of a player, but what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to lament to you guys is that Frazier could be a Jabril Peppers, you know. And I know you guys probably say, "Oh hell no, he got off his wagon," but that's just how, you know, football is when it comes to like drafting these secondary or drafting in the secondary cornerbacks. Because look at Richard Sherman's of the world, and the other kid that played for the Washington, although he relegated to one side of the field and really can't follow. Was it Josh Norman? These guys were drafted late in the pick and was able to be formidable for their team. So we just don't want to get into that cycle, man, of getting players like that could, we can just find in the 5th and 6th round. ACO, I think Byron just need another year under that position for it being his first year as the position he played solid in. Yeah, ACO or ACO, I think the problem is with that, he was a first-round draft pick, man. And you don't need to draft projects for first-round draft pick. Either you need to draft somebody that is going to fit that particular role that you drafted them for, or not. I can't just go back and say, okay, I'm gonna draft a fullback, but I really think that he can play linebacker. No, not in the first round. You do that with the 4th or 5th or 6th pick, or you find somebody who can be immediate. You can make an immediate impact to your team. I'm not trying to say he's not. He is smarter than what we used to have out there before, but it just seems to me that he's in the position, but he can't hold on to the damn ball. He can't catch interceptions, and sometimes he get beat at times. He's doing his job. He's doing his job for a second-year player. But like you said, I'm gonna hold my reservation for at least one more year. And if he just give me if he give me 2016 for 2017, I'm all right with it. But I'm gonna safely say that, come on, he was just should be a 3rd-round pick at that point if he's gonna play like that. I want Falcons to get there first. Yeah, James, me too. Jeff Heath is good, but not consistent. You're right, Sports Gamer 101. Jeff Heath is good, but not consistent. But, man, my God, he played with heart and tenacity to that game. Let me see. I will be hot if Green Bay, this is ACO, I will be hot if Green Bay plays off this weekend. I don't know, man. I can't read. This is how I felt in 2015 when we got beat by them, and they got beat the next game. I was salty. Yeah, good year, fam. Cowboys for life, 27. Yeah, man. First half did kill us, man. We just came out, like I say, not with the right focus of mind, I guess. Law, did you, or the refs? I can say the refs, right? Law, did you agree with Marinelli on bringing 3 rushers on the last play? Oh, my God. I'm not a coach, but come on. He brought 3 rushers, and one of the guys got through. So if in a perfect world, if they were called holding, and it was, 20 seconds or 20-something seconds left on the clock, they would have forced him to call timeout, and they would have had another shot at it, even from further distance. But he brought 3. It's just that there's no way in life, if your natural trait, and I'm not trying to throw salt on damn Byron Jones, if your natural trait is being a damn cornerback, and you hold it, and you carrying, and you following a damn tight end, then you need to figure out a way to get that ball out of there, man. You need to figure out how to win that damn route. You need to figure out a way to beat your guy. It's a man to man at that point. You need to figure out to stretch out. You got the Guinness Book of Record of long jump. You need to figure out a way, man. And for him to catch that ball during the sidelines, you gotta play outside technique. You give him the middle field, but you can't give them anything on the outside because they're trying to worry about time. And if you've got passing across the middle, at least you can lay a hat on it with the guy Wilcox. Play zone, play prevent, do something, but don't let the man catch the ball like that. But it's just one of those freak plays, and you got to give props to Aaron Rodgers, like the guy earlier said that's my daddy. And if Aaron Rodgers is my daddy, he need to pay me some damn child support because I need some of that money. All right, so let me see what else we got in the chat box. Falcons are my team now that the Cowboys are out. I want Julio Jones to get a ring so bad. He doesn't deserve to be considered one of those legendary wideouts and never get a ring, i.e., Calvin Johnson. And that was from Peter. I really think that he's one hell of a wideout wide receiver. I really think that he brings in a lot to the table. I think he brings a lot of things to the table as far as what the Atlanta Falcons can do, what their game plan. And that was brought up from, they got this guy, number 18. He's fast. They got him from Cleveland. Guy is fast, explosive. Then they got Sanu. And then they got Freeman, and they got this Coleman kid that just weapons. And judging by Green Bay Packers defense, this should be a one hell of a game. I should guarantee you right now they're going to score 30 points. Regardless of how you look at it, they're going to score 30 points. It's just that will Aaron Rodgers be the Aaron Rodgers what we saw this weekend? And that's going to be one hell of a game. So wherever you may be, wherever you are, see if you can find and watch that game if you want to watch a high-scoring game. And I just don't know how Aaron Rodgers does it with those type of receivers. They can catch the ball. I can only imagine if he had number 87 out there, whoever, Jordy Nelson. It probably would have helped us better because he probably been looking for that particular Jordy Nelson connection versus spreading the ball throughout the whole entire team. So it is what it is. Let me see what else in the chat box here. El Gyro, I was there at the stadium. It was electric. We get to the ball and overtime, it would have been over. Yeah, that's water in the bridge now. Bryce Bernard, not a Cowboy fan. I'm actually a diehard Green Bay Packer fan. But you have some great insights to games of football. Keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to Bryce Bernard. Yeah, man, like I say, you guys won. You beat us down. We licked our wounds. Now it's time for us to get back at it. But what I would say to the Green Bay Packers, you guys can be dynamic, man. You guys can be even better if you guys can find you a running back. If I was you guys, I would just go ahead and find me a running back, and I'll draft me a running back this year. That's something that you guys were just lacking. I'll give me a running back. Your offensive line is great. You got a hell of a receiver, number 87. Then you got the number 18. And Geronimo Allison, although he got a weed problem that the NFL will not bring up because he played for the Green Bay Packers. You must say to yourself, Bryce, there's a blessing that you guys play in Wisconsin versus playing down here in the South, over here in Dallas. Because if he played in Dallas or he played in New York or if he played in any of these major outlets, media outlets, he wouldn't be able to play this weekend. He wouldn't be able to play. So, excuse me, if I was the Green Bay Packers, I would draft me a running back, and then I'll go out and find me another comfortable defensive player, maybe somebody who can shore up or fill the gaps of the Peppers of the world who get it long in the tooth. And I would figure out me somewhere I'll do via free agency of getting a cornerback, because you already got some I guess rookie DBs and Gunters of the worlds or whoever, Demarius Randall, I think that's his name. You got those people already, so you just need to complement those guys with a veteran help somewhere, because that could hurt you in the long run by just having those two guys. All right, so what else we have that sound like the secondary is? James, let me see what you're saying. That sounds like secondary as a whole. Yeah, as a whole collectively, yeah. The Cowboys secondary collectively just couldn't make a bite or play on the ball. Let me see, Zorro Venezio. I think that's how you say your name. I'm murdering your name. I can say Zorro. I hate Green Bay, but at the end, don't want Pittsburgh to win. So Atlanta or New England for me. You might not want New England to win either, because they can say they got one player with 5 Super Bowl rings who is the quarterback. And it's just going to be just like one of those things like, my God, this guy had more Super Bowl rings than half of the NFL body. Yeah, I'm going to move on from that. James, yeah, Irvin got held, but if Durant runs straight to the sideline and forces AR to the middle, maybe he don't make that throw. I'm going to look back at that. I'm going to look back at that play, and I'm going to get back with you on that. ACO, I hope we focus mostly on defense, and we will. That said, I do hope we draft a wide receiver and a tight end as well. I don't see us keeping Williams and Butler. One thing I know about Cowboys, man, one thing I know about Jerry Jones, he's loyal to a default, and I really think that he's gonna figure out a way to keep Williams, unfortunately. And I like Williams, got family ties to Williams, believe it or not, but closer than what you think. It's just to the fact that I don't know. I don't see that happen. What I see happening is basically the Cowboys are going to go out there and they're going to figure out a way to get some defensive players, figure out a way to keep Williams. And hold on for a second. Figure out a way. Figure out a way to keep Williams. They're gonna figure out all those good things, and we just need to figure out something. We may get rid of Butler because that was just too much of a ballhead play for their unsportsmanlike conduct. Even though it's a nefarious call, they're gonna figure out a way to keep Williams. They're gonna figure out a match up this defense. But if we can find a dynamic receiver to complement Dez Bryant, then we're winning. But the hardest part of it all would be us losing focus on our defensive need and getting the wrong type of players. Let me see. Victor Martinez. So we go get a DB in the first round. Researches and studies shows that Cowboys may tend to lean towards a defensive back, and they're gonna forget. And you got to understand the philosophy of Coach Marinelli. He hell bent on his orphans. He really think that he can win with his guys. He think that he think optimistic with Tapper. He's gonna think that that with a few pieces that we just need another defensive back or something like that. So just coming back from revisionist history, they may lean towards a defensive back. Sad to say that, but it's just what it is. And if not, what would you guys feel like if we draft with the first round a right tackle? That could be possible too. So you just never know. I mentioned earlier that Martinez said I'm gonna try to. I know this feed is kind of long. I don't know how long it's been going on now. It don't tell me, but I ain't doing nothing else. Might as well talk to you guys. We already talked about John Ross. Butler is gone. ACO. This was his year to prove himself, and he just was a bust. I'm feeling if he played like John Ross and sitting there at 28. They will grab him over a defensive player. It's going to be so hard for us to make that decision of grabbing an offensive guy that high in the draft. Just from public opinion alone, I would see the Cowboys going with, like I say, an offensive right tackle before they do that. Or drafting a offensive lineman, and we all like, oh, what the hell are they doing? But only time will tell. All right, Peter, I imagine if the Cowboys drafted Miles Jack, Jags rarely let him out. He was real talented, and he had true potential to become a defensive weapon in the league. That was what we needed on defense, a playmaker. the Jags will be a different team this year. Yeah, Peter, that was a good insight there as far as the Cowboys, if they was selected Miles Jack or Jack Miles or whatever his name is. But we went with Jalen Smith. So when I put out film and tape on Jalen Smith, it will, solidify the reason why we went with Jalen. Because he's just a beast within himself, and he got a lot of traits and a lot of skill sets that you just cannot create and teach. That only God can put into him. So those are things that we really need to look at anyhow. Is when he becomes healthy and place him along the sides, the Sean Lees of the world and the Hicks and the Hitchens, I meant to say. And when you put him out there, I don't know if Durant is going to be. I don't know if we sign up for a 2-year or 1 year, but we need to figure out something with that. The Jags will be a different team next year or this year. ACO, you are 1,000% right, because what they're going to be next year is a more focused and team. They got some veteran coaching help. Coughlin is a very poised type of guy. I think he can horn in some of those raw talent skill sets that the Jaguars have, and he's going to be able to put those guys in winning key situations because they got good defense, and they got, with the Hearn kid and the other receiver, I think Allen kid or whatever his name is, they got good formidable. Think about this. They got good wide receivers, good tight end, and they got maybe a subpar or along the way type of quarterback, but they got a decent running attack. So Jaguars may as well bounce back real hard this year or next year or whatever. All right, not Jake Martinez, Loke. And McClay, I trust. And McClay, we trust. McClay been making good decisions, great decisions. But it just seeing how this Byron Jones pick is going to pan out, and we're going to see how the Jalen Smith pick is going to pan out. So those two picks that I'm trying to see whether or not what we're going to do with as far as him picking those guys. Durant is an unrestricted free agent. So we need Durant to stay with us then. We need to figure out a way to just sign him back for one more year to have that veteran insight. Victor Martinez, Jake Butt in the second round, or second to be the future replacement of Jason Witten. I like Jake Butt. I just don't like his last name. I think he can be the butt end of all jokes, and that's the last thing we need for the Cowboy Nation. It could be a distraction. I'm just playing with you. Guys are phenomenal. I meant to say. The guy is able to run routes. I think he looks like Jason Witten when he runs those routes, man. Just crafty in his own way. I think he brings in a lot of element to the team. Let's see. Wayne Smith. The boys are young and exciting now. I feel like free agent will want to play for us next year opposed to the other years. Wayne Smith, yeah. I'm sorry I botched that question. Yeah, the boys are young and exciting. They bring in a lot of good things to the team. They should draw in a lot of crowds from the free agency. And the team should say, hey, those people who are in free agents looking for a ring, they should reach out to the Cowboys and say, we'll play for you guys, for peanuts. Just to get this ring. Hopefully they feel that way, Let's see. Jags have weapons. They needed a coach. They have that now. Coughlin also didn't. Wade Phillips just become their defensive coordinator. No, I don't think. I think Wade Phillips became defensive coordinator for the Rams, I believe, not for the Jaguars. Victor Martinez would an old Tamba Hali help our defensive line. Anybody will help us, man. I'm so tired of us getting 6 and 7 sacks and that being our leading sack guy for the year. So there's so many things that we need to do, guys. I just try to be able to be focusing on the draft and stuff like that of what we really need to do. But it's almost my time, guys. I really appreciate you guys for joining in and chiming in, rumbling with me throughout this process. of our expectations and what we need to bring to the team. There's so many other things that we need to bring forth in the future as far as Cowboys team. I would say if we can possibly just stay focused, get us a good defense. These are my keys, First order of business is to sign whatever player that we need to keep on our team and make them happy. The ones that we want to keep or would like to keep. Then secondly, drafting order. We need to stay focused, but secondly, what we need to do is fill in the small areas with the free agency, because the free agency sometimes is before the draft. Of course, we all know that. But we need to figure out a way to get the necessary players that we need to help our defensive out. That's pretty much through the free agency. Figure out who we need to bring in, like the Campbells of the world, or Deshaun Jackson if he can't play for our offense, if he decided if he wants to go to the Cowboys. Figure out a way to schmooze him and get him down here to Texas. Thirdly, is like I say, we need to really draft focusedly. We need to realize that this particular pick needs to be something that we really need to get out there with some type of presence of power of mind. If we can find a person that's able to step into the gaps and be able to make an immediate contact or immediate impact, I meant to say, to our team. We don't need to draft nobody that's going to be able to play 2020 or 2018. We need to draft somebody who's going to play now. And we need to get everybody healthy, like the Tappers of the world. We need to figure out a way to get him on the field and utilize some of that speed, that quickness, whatever it needs to be. We need to figure out those things. Anything else, guys, don't forget, if you are an entrepreneur, if you got your own music, if you got your own jazz or whatever it may be, and you wanted to play on the channel, just hit me up, comment down below, and I'll try to utilize your music on the channel. This off season, if you got any draft prospect, once this video ended, just put it down in the comment box below. Let me know, and I'm going to try my best to get that film out to the masses if possible. I'm going to try to get all that stuff out so that everybody is able to see the player or the prospect that we should go out and get, or we should focus on, who we should want to on this team, like the John Rosses of the world. And I know it's far-fetched for us to get Myles Garrett, but those players that you guys, D.D. Westbrook, let me see on it, Solomon Thomas, Jaire Alexander, and Charles Harris. We need to get these guys on our team. We need to be able to I'm gonna focus. I know we can't get all these guys that you guys lamented and you guys put in the box, but I'm gonna try to get these guys that I wrote down on this sheet of envelope and get it out to the masses as far as film, tape review, and I'm gonna do a little scouting prospect. Now, those who are looking for insights on certain games or certain plays, just hit me up, and I'm going to try to put that film out there. Now, I can't promise you guys that I'm going to put out all 22 film out there, but collectively, we're going to do this like a voting process. If you have an all 22, or if you want to see a certain game with all 22 film, hit me up, and I'm going to try to post that particular game. Not guaranteeing that I can post the whole entire game, because it's like 3 hours long. And it's got to do a little free editings and stuff like that in order for me to post it on YouTube. So those are a few tidbits that I would like to share with you guys. Outside of that, if there's any other questions, comments, please lament them now before I run. Do you feel, see, Peter, the future is bright. Have a bless on y'all. ACO, yes, right. The future is bright. Peter, before you run, you got the privilege of the last question of the day. Do you feel Romo will retire, or will he get traded? Peter, I really think deep down in my heart, soul, mind, that Romo will not retire. For the simple strength, Romo is Brett Favre 2.0 without a ring. And what he's going to do is he's going to try to get that ring with all of his power, mind, soul, body, spirit, and all of the 9 forces that's within him with his Jedi skill set. He's going to figure out a team that he needs to just jump on and figure out a way to play and prove everybody that he still got that ounce of stability, that ounce of winningship and leadership and all that stuff built inside of him. So I really think that he's going to figure out a way to not retire. He's going to squeeze the Cowboys out. He's going to play hardball, and that's what they always do, you know. And either the Cowboys are going to cut him, or they're going to try to find a dancing partner and try to get picks from him. And ultimately, the dancing partner is not going to sequest to what Jerry Jones is wanting, and they're going to be forced to cut him, in my opinion. And we're going to miss out on some trades. That's just how it is. That's been my time, guys. I thank you guys for yours. And remember, if you have not joined the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Follow me on all social media. Twitter, I'm trying to learn the Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. That's where I post most of my content. So that's a good way to follow me. Ask questions. I will try to reach out to you. If there's any particular game that you would like to see again, just reach out to me, and I will try my best to get that out to you. Hey, and remember, you're still listening to Nothing But the Best. May God bless until I see you guys again. How about them Cowboys? I'm out. Peace to the Middle East. Peace to all you guys.